padam darshitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Adyananti virandasya jana jana shalakaya chakshurumilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Stavaram Jangamam Vyantam Yadkichit Sacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Bhavaji Vyati Yat Sarvam Elokyam Sacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarva Shruti Shiroratna Virajita Padam Bhujaha Vedantam Bhuja Suryoya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chaitanya Shashvata Shanto Vyomatito Niranjanaha Bindunada Kalatita Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnana Shakti Samadhuta Tattvamala Vibhushitaha Mukti Mukti Pradata Cha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Aneka Janma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidaiye Atmajnana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shoshanam Bhava Sindhosham Jnapanam Sarasampadaha Guru Padodakam Sanya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Na Guru Radhikam Tattvam Na Guru Radhikam Tapaha Tattvajnana Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Manata Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Radhira Nadisha Guru Paramadevatam Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva. Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om. Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om.
Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om. Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om.
Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om. Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om.
Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om. Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om.
Sharanam Guru Deva Narayana Hari Om. Sharanam Guru Deva Narayana Hari Om.
Sharanam Guru Deva Narayana Hari Om. Sharanam Guru Deva Narayana Hari Om.
Sharanam Guru Deva Narayana Hari Om. Sharanam Guru Deva Narayana Hari Om.
Sharanam Guru Deva Narayana Hari Om.
Satgurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Satgurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Satgurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Satgurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Sri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Sri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Sri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Sri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Shri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Sri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Shri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Sri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Sharanam Gurudeva Narayana Hari Om
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 Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om
Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om Shri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om
Sharanam Gurudeva Narayana Hari Om Sharanam Gurudeva Narayana Hari Om
Sharanam Gurudeva Narayana Hari Om Sharanam Gurudeva Narayana Hari Om
Satgurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Gurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Satgurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Gurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Shri Swami Vishwananda Namah
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 Sharanam Gurudeva Narayana Hari Om
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 Satgurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Gurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Satgurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Gurudeva Prema Pradayaka
Shri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Shri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Shri Swami Vishwananda Namah
Swami Vishwananda Namaho.
Sharanam Gurudeva Narayana Hari Om.
Sharanam Gurudeva Narayana Hari Om.
Sri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om. Sri Vishwananda Deva Narayana Hari Om Avatar Shishaya Namaha.
Om Vishamaya Namaha. Om Devakara Suryataya Namaha. Om Sukshmatanave Namaha. Om Shivmayaya Namaha. Om Gurumurtaye Namaha. Om Sundaraya Namaha. Om Sulochanaya Namaha. Om Sumukaya Namaha. Om Sharuhasaya Namaha. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Padmabhujaya Namaha. Om Mandagamanaya Namaha. Om Sharumbaradarine Namaha. Om Ramaya Namaha. Om Mandirastapakaya Namaha. Om Shridivavashakaya Namaha. Om Gayatriyajvane Namaha. Om Arpanasvikarakaya Namaha. Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namaha. Om Namo Narayayeti Mantrapasakaya Namaha. Om Swaramayaya Namaha. Om Madhurakantaya Namaha. Om Krishna Sankirtanalopaya Namaha. Om Sotrapriyaya Namaha. Om Nitavashine Namaha. Om Vagnine Namaha. Om Shitrakalavisharadaya Namaha. Om Vratadaraya Namaha. Om Sadave Namaha. Om Jagatpantaya Namaha. Om Sarvalokahitaya Namaha. Om Bhaktapriyaya Namaha. Om Surdaya Namaha. Om Anukulaya Namaha. Om Neyaya Namaha. Om Sudarshanaya Namaha. Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha. Om Premamurtaye Namaha. Om Shubhekshanaya Namaha. Om Pritivardhanaya Namaha. Om Swastidayakaya Namaha. Om Tarakaya Namaha. Om Anugrahaya Namaha. Om Vardhanaya Namaha. Om Arshitaya Namaha. Om Arthaya Namaha. Om Siddhipradaya Namaha. Om Janardhanaya Namaha. Om Manoharaya Namaha. Om Mahashaya Namaha. Om Siddheshwaraya Namaha. Om Bhasmabhushitaya Namaha. Om Atmalingaya Namaha. Om Nigashana Protsakaya Namaha. Om Siddhi Sadanaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Om Karupasakaya Namaha. Om Sukshmaya Namaha. Om Vishokaya Namaha. Om Satvikaya Namaha. Om Samadarshine Namaha. Om Dakshaya Namaha. Om Ashityaya Namaha. Om Nirankaraya Namaha. Om Nirmohaya Namaha. Om Avyagraya Namaha. Om Chitakrodaya Namaha. Om Vinayashilaya Namaha. Om Svavashaya Namaha. Om Kushalaya Namaha. Om Shamaya Namaha. Om Satyakarmaya Namaha. Om Nivikalpaya Namaha. Om Virakaya Namaha. Om Atindraya Namaha. Om Satyasandaya Namaha. Om Pavitraya Namaha. Om Madhurasvabhavaya Namaha. Om Suranandaya Namaha. Om Nandanaya Namaha. Om Prasadmane Namaha. Om Bhaktanidaye Namaha. Om Sakshaye Namaha. Om Samadmaye Namaha. Om Sadayogine Namaha. Om Haraye Namaha. Om Sutapaya Namaha. Om Samyaya Namaha. Om Guruyaya Namaha. Om Vimuktarmaya Namaha. Om Gabiraya Namaha. Om Guptaya Namaha. Om Atmaramaya Namaha. Om Shivasaya Namaha. Om Devaya Namaha. Om Dyutidaraya Namaha. Om Dhanyaya Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Duratikramaya Namaha. Om Pranaya Namaha. Om Bhagavate Namaha. Om Arisharanamargadashakaya Namaha. Om Kutasvaragataya Namaha. Om Aviprayaya Namaha. Om Sarvamata Samatyaya Namaha. Om Shamaikatavahavartakaya Namaha. Om Premavatara Shri Vishwananda Swami Namaha.
Ato deva avantuno yato Vishnur Vishakrame
Vedivya Satta Ramapi Idam Vishnur Vichakrame Tretani Dade Padam Samodamasya Bhagum Sure Trini Pada Vichakrame Vishnur Gopa Ada Avyaha Ato Dharmani Dharene Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Yato Vridani Paspase Indrasya Yujasakaha Tat Vishnu Paramam Paragum Sada Prashanti Surya Yireva Chakshura Tatam Tat Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruvagum Sasamindate Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. Premavattaraya Vimahi Sadgurudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishwananda Prachodayate. Om Premavattaraya Vimahi Sadgurudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishwananda Prachodayate. Om Premavattaraya Vimahi Sadgurudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishwananda Prachodayate.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yona Prachodayat.
Vishnu Madhusudana Ketavare
Narayana Chita Trivikrama Chakrapane Detyadi Sarjagara Shridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rukmini Shabhavanasha Hare Murare Radesha Gopesha Surupa Brahmadi Vandya Shrikarashaya Vaikuntha Pate Bhuvaneka Murte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Menakrite Kamatarupa Varaha Murte Te Vikramaya Gurane Guru Rama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Govinda Madhava Mukunda Parat Paresha Damodara Chadarananda Kalari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Sambrita Dina Bando Gopi Jana Priyanaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rati Shai Bhujagadi Patal Pashai Sarvaktarit Sadana Shai Brahmanda Shai Shri Gopavama Venutalpa Sutadishai Gopa Vallabharaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Kashyapatri Sudha Narada Gautamadi Brahmarshi Sangamani Sangava Bharatesho Tishtanti Devatava Darshana Bhagya Heto Gopala Sekararaye Tava Supravatam Mandara Jadi Tulasi Dalamali Karjahe Malyani Anjali Pute Samudaharanti Tishtanti Tvatbhava Kadara Dale Munindraha Radha Manohararaye Tava Supravatam Vedatrayam Patati Gotamakana Goyaha Gayanti Satguna Gano Varadasa Vargaha Sankirtayanti Tava Nama Kada Visheshaha Shri Narada Nirshaya Tava Supravatam Govardhanodharana Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Janamrita Suvesha Bhavadi Pota Trilokya Mohana Sumangala Divya Reha Shri Rukminisha Varada Tava Supravatam Shri Vatsa Shina Sharanagata Parijata Bhaktarthi Vanjana Kripakara Dina Bandho Vidyanta Gayati Jana Priya Divya Rupa Shri Nanda Gopatanaya Tava Supravatam Padmaksha Padma Mukha Padmadara Prameya Padmalaya Sharika Padma Nivasa Shori Padmo Bhavadi Surasevita Pada Padma Padmadinata Haraye Tava Supravatam Vrindata Levi Haranaya Mahendra Vandya Chandarpadarpa Haratinya Sudesha Rupa Chandrananaya Siddha Chandana Linna Deha Govinda Yadava Hare Tava Supravatam Shri Nandanandana Yashoda Kumara Dhira Mayangadina Davichona Supushpahara Nilangudaha Susarira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Supravatam Shri Varshijan Bhavati Satya Suganti Bhadra Shri Mitra Vinda Divasa Prabhu Putrikadyahe Ishtanti Divya Bhavame Tava Sevanargam Gopi Mana Priyaraye Tava Supravatam Shri Krishna Achyuta Ananta Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janardana Chakrapane Namani Divya Munayurda Nisham Vadanti Brahmi Muhurta Samaye Tava Supravatam Shri Krishna Suprabhatam Ye Patanti Maharnisham Durikrutam Mahapapam Shri Krishna Grave Tutam
Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadiyadi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Siktamani Prakara Satma Sukapa Vriksha Laksha Vritishchu Surabhiya Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasya Sata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Now everybody together
Venum Kvamantamaravindha Dalaya Taksham Varavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakotika Maniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Alola Chandrakala Satpanamalya Vamsi Ratnagadam Pranayakeli Kalavilasham Shaman Tribhangalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Everybody
Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Viddimanti Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadujjvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Advaitamachutamanadim Anantarupam Aryam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Dhulaban Adhulaban Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Satavatsara Sampragamyo Vayoratapi Manaso Muni Pungavanam Sopyasti Yatra Padasimnya Vichintya Tattve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Ekopya Sura Chaitum Jagat Anda Kotim Yakchakti Asti Jagat Anda Chayayat Antaha Andantarasta Paramana Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yad Bhava Bhavita Dayo Manujastateva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasanayana Bhushaha Shukdeyameva Niyama Pratitestu Vanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Ananda Chinmaya Pratibhavitabhis Tabiya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabhihi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjana Shurita Bhakti Vilochanena Santasa Devarirayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Ashintya Gunasvarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Ramadi Murti Shukalani Amena Tishtam Nanavataram Akarut Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanta Koti Oti Swashesha Vasudadi Vibhuti Vinam Tad Brahmanishkalam Anantam Ashesha Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Maya hi yasya jagat anda shatani sutte Trigunya tat vishaya veda vitayamana Sattva valamya parasattva vishuddha sattvam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasatmakaya Manashu Yapraninam Pratipalam Smaratam Upetya Lilaitena Bhuvanani Jayatya Chashram Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Golokanam Nijadam Vitale Chatasya Devi Mahesha Haridama Suteshu Teshu Tete Prabhavani Chaya Vihitaschayena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Shishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakshireka Shayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga Yakshanarupamapi Yasya Shasheshta Tesa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Shiram Yatata Divikara Vishesha Yoga Sanjayate Nahita Takpritagasti Hettoho Yasham Buddham Apitata Samupeti Karyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Dipachireva Nisashantaramabhyupetya Dipayate Vivrita Hetu Samana Dharma Yastadriyeva Icha Vishnu Taya Vibhati Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Yakaranana Vajale Bhajati Sma Yoga Nidram Ananta Jagat Anda Saroma Kupaha Adhara Shaktima Valamya Param Sma Murtim Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Yasekaniश्वसितकालमतावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमबिलजा जगदन्तनाथः विष्णुर्महत्सर्यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
पश्वन्यतश्मशकलेषु निजेषु तेजः स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्व आत्र ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिदाय कुम्भा वन्दे प्रणाम समये सनगादिराजः विघ्नं विहन्तुमलहस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
अग्निमही गगन अम्ब मरुडिशश्च कालस्तथा मम मनसित्ति जगत्त्रयानि यस्मद्भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यक्षुरे सलितः सकलाग्रहाणां राजः समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेषतेजः यस्यज्ञया प्रमति संवृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
धर्मोतपप्पनिचयाश्रुतयस्तपंसि ब्रह्मादिकित्तपतगावदयश्च जीवः यद्दातमात्र विभव प्रकट प्रभाव गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्मिन्द्रगोपमतवेन्द्रमहोस्वकर्म बन्धानुरूपफलभज्जनमातनोति कर्माणि निर्दहति किन्तु च भक्तिभाजं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यं क्रोधकामसहजप्रणयानि भीति वत्साल्यमोहगुरुगौरवसेव्यभावहे सञ्चित्य तस्य सदृशीं तनुमापुरेते गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चित् आनन्द विग्रह अनादियादि गोविन्द सर्वकारणकारणं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
Jai Gurudev, good morning everyone. Now comes the Vedic chanting for the Divine Mother. You find the Sri Suktam on page 44 in your booklet. And we're also going to chant two other Suktams, the Bu and the Nila Suktam, in praise of Mother Earth and Nila, the third wife of Vishnu. So unfortunately these you don't find in your paper version, but they are for sure in the digital version of the prayer book. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Hiranyavarnam Harinim Suvarnarajasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jatavedo Mahavaha Mahavaha Jatavedo Lakshmi Manapagamini Yasya Hiranyam Vindeyam Gamashvam Purushanaham Ashvapurvam Ratanyam Astinada Prabodhinim Shriyam Devi Mupavvaye Shriyamadhevi Jushatam Kamso Smritam Hiranya Prakara Matram Jalantim Pravitam Tarpayantim Bhakme Stitam Padmavarnam Tamyopavvaye Shriyam Chandram Prabhasam Yashasa Jalantim Shriyam Loke Devajushram Udaram
तां पद्मिनीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये लक्ष्मीर्नश्यतां वृणे आदित्यवर्णे तपसो विजातो वनस्पतिस्तव वृक्षोऽतबिल्वः तस्य फलानि तपसानुरन्तु मायान्तरायश्च माया लक्ष्मी उपेतु मां देवसखा कीर्तिश्च मलिना सह प्रादुर्भूतोऽस्मि राष्ट्रेऽस्मिन् कीर्तिमृद्धिं ददातु मे क्षुत्पिपासामलां येषामलक्ष्मीं नाशयाम्यहम् अभूतिमसमृद्धिं च सर्वाणि निर्दमे गृहात् गन्धद्वारां दुरदर्शां नित्यपुष्टां करीषिणीः ईश्वरीगुं सर्वभूतानां तामिहोपद्वये श्रियम् मनसा काममाकूतिं वाचः सत्यमशीमहि पशूनां रूपमन्यस्य महिषी शयतान्यशः कर्दमेन प्रजा भूता मयि सम्भव कर्दमा श्रियं वासय मे कुले मातरं पद्ममालिनीम् आपसृजन्तु स्निग्धानि चिग्वितवसने गृहे देवी मातरं श्रियं वासय मे कुले अर्द्रां पुष्करिणी पुष्टिं सुवर्णामे ममालिनीं सूर्याभिरङ्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः अर्द्रां यत्करिणीं यष्टिं पिङ्गलां पद्ममालिनीं चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः महावः जातवेदो लक्ष्मीमनपगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं प्रपूतं गावो दास्यो स्वाहा विन्देयं पुरुषानहम् यस्य चिप्रयतो भूत्वा जुहुयादाजमन्वहम् सूक्तं पञ्चदश चन्द्रश्रीकामः सततं जपे पद्मप्रिये पद्मिनि पद्महस्ते पद्मालये पद्मदलायताक्षी विश्वप्रिये विष्णुमनोनुकूले तत्पादपद्मं मयि सन्निधस्व महादेवे च विद्महे विष्णुपत्न्ये च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गोमेर्भुम्नाद्यो वरिणं तरिक्षं महित्वा उपस्तेथे दिवितिथेनमन्नाध्यायाददे आयङ्गो कृष्णिरक्रमीरसनं मातरं पुनः पितरं च त्रयं सुवः त्रिगुंशब्दामविराजति वाक्पतङ्गाय शिष्यये प्रव्यस्य वहत्युभिः अस्य प्राणादपानन्यन्दश्चरतिरोचना यद्यन्महिषः सुवः यद्वा कृतपरोपमन्युना यदवद्या सुकल्पमग्ने तत्तव पुनस्तोद्दीपयामसि यत्ते मङ्ग्युपरोक्तस्य पृथिवीमनुदत्वसे आनित्या विश्वे तद्देवा वसवश्च समावरम् मनो ज्योतिर्दुशतामच्छं निच्छिन्नं यज्ञगुं समिमं ददातु बृहस्पतिस्तनुतामिमं नो विश्वे देवा यमादयन्ताम् मेदिनी देवी वसुन्धरा स्याद्वसुधा देवी वासवी ब्रह्मवर्चसा पितृणागुं श्रोत्रं चक्षुर्मनः देवी हिरण्यगर्भिणी देवी प्रसूवरी सदने सत्यायने सीदा समुद्रवती सावित्री अनो देवी मायङ्गी
Mahodharani Mahogatishta Shange Shange Yagne Yagne Vibhishani Indrapatni Vyapini Surasadidiha Vayumati Jarashayani Shriyam Daraja Satyam Doparinedini Shopariradam Parigaya Vishnupatni Mahim Devi Madhavi Madhavapriya Lakshmi Priyasakim Devim Namamachata Vallabham Dhanudharaye Vidmahe Sarvasatyai Dhīmahi Tanno Dhara Prachodayat Om Shanti 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 Neelam Devi Gum Sharanamaham Prapadye Granahi Gritavati Savitaradipatye Payasvati Rampirashano Asto Dhruvanishan Vishnupatnyagora Seshana Sahasoya Manota Brihaspati Matarishvota Vayus Sanduvana Vata Abhino Grananto Vishkambo Divo Dharana Pritevya Asyeshana Jagato Vishnupatni Mahadevecha Vidmahe Vishnupatnyecha Dhimahi Tanno Leela Prachodayat Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmelitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Good morning, happy Shivratri. So the verse that I chose today from the Bhagavatam, shocker, is about Shiva, or actually is spoken by Shiva, right? So this verse is from Canto 8, and it is from the part of the churning of the ocean, in which many things arise. I'm sure most of you are aware of the churning of the ocean, Leela, right? So don't go into that one. But as the Devas and the Asuras are jointly working to get this nectar of immortality, they are churning the Milky Ocean, and various items, if you want to call it items or beings or gifts, if you want to call it, arise from the churning of the ocean. And one of those is the hala hala, poison, right? It's not only beautiful things, it's not only amazing horses and elephants and finally, of course, Lakshmi and so on, but it's also poison. And so as we know, the Milky Ocean churning represents our spiritual journey in itself. We'd say the Guru is the one who is constantly churning, or I would say we are churning, but when we meet our Guru, he speeds up the churning process. And so eventually, many things, they come up, and one of the things that we might have perceived within ourselves coming up occasionally is poison, right? And so one of the poisons that came up was the hala hala. And so this was such a strong, powerful poison and it has to be taken. Like everything that comes out has to be given to somebody, has to be distributed. And of course, everybody wants the nice things, but for some reason, nobody volunteered to take the poison. So there was only one who accepted to take the poison, and it was Lord Shiva. So this verse is just before he basically drinks the poison, and it gives the reasoning why he accepts the poison. So it's actually kind of two verses, but I took the verse 40 of chapter 7 predominantly, in which he says, Pumsha kripayato bhadre sarvatma priyate harihi Priteharo bhagavati priyamha sacharacha tasmadidam karam bunje prajanam swastirastume. My dear gentle wife, Bhavani, maybe Chaitanya should be saying this verse. Anyways, my dear gentle wife, Bhavani, when one performs benevolent activities for others, the Supreme Lord Hari is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, I am also pleased, along with all other living creatures. Therefore, let me drink this poison for all the living entities may thus become happy because of me. And I'll add the second verse that I mentioned, which is verse 44, which is just a few verses after, where he says that it is said that great beings almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worship to the Supreme Lord, who is present in everyone's heart. And so we understand by Shiva's words himself why it is that he accepts the poison. It is not because he wants to show off how great he is, because he's the only one who can handle this poison. He does it for, as he says, community service, public service, for the service of everyone, so that nobody else has to take it, because somebody has to, right? And so he does it as an act of service for humanity. Shiva, the word Shiva itself means auspicious. Guruji said yesterday, the Shiva means, but that's not the word of Shiva. Shiva means auspiciousness. What he said yesterday, that Shiva means dispassion, right? So Shiva is such an important figure for us, also as Vaishnavas, because we all, as human beings, we need people that we can take as inspiration. And us as devotees, Shiva is the greatest inspiration, as he's the greatest devotee. He shows what it means to be fully surrendered to the Lord. He shows what it means to transform one's mind to an extent that it never wavers away from the goal, away from Lord Hari. But he's constantly focused on him. He never wavers. His meditation is so transfixed that nothing that happens on the outside can ever distract him from him. Yeah? And so that is the ultimate goal of transforming our minds towards. So as the word Shiva itself, that's why Shiva often is connected to the mind. The word Shiva means auspiciousness. But if we connect auspiciousness to our mind, usually that's not a connection that we make, I suppose. At least when I look at my mind. The first thing that comes to my mind is not auspiciousness. I can promise you. But still, Shiva shows that auspiciousness of mind can be there. Like Krishna says in the Gita also, it is not, the mind is not the obstacle itself, or is not the enemy in itself. It is simply a reaction of how we have used it so far. And that is why it is not auspicious. That doesn't mean it cannot be. Because Krishna also says in chapter 10 that amongst the senses, I am the mind. So if Krishna is the mind, how can it not be auspicious? Because it is also through the mind that we have the capability to actually focus it on him. Because we need a mind to do that. As a human being, we all have a mind. And it is, as we know, only as human beings we can actually attain the Lord. And it is through the tool of the mind that is only possible. And so Shiva shows what we have to do to get there, to get to that state of mind in which our mind becomes auspicious, in which it wants to focus on God. And so yesterday Guruji said, gave a different connection to the meaning of Shiva. And he says, the meaning of Shiva is dispassion, right? So dispassion, I think, is actually the key to converting our mind to become auspicious. Because the opposite of dispassion is passion, no? And we know that from our own life experience of observing ourselves, that which we have passion for is what we naturally are attracted towards. in terms of our mental focus. So if you're freshly in love with somebody, there's certain energy of passion. And so when you're in love, when you feel that passion, do you have to force yourself to think of the person? No, it's automatic, right? Now if you take another example and think, what is the connection that you make when you think of doing your sadhana? Do you think of it as passion? Or do you think of it as, I have to be disciplined? Which one is it? Depends on the day. I can tell you afterwards. Sometimes it's very nice, very beautiful. You feel great butterflies. Sometimes it's, oh my God, not again. I still have to tick off my kriya of the to-do list today, right? So that's the thing, actually. Why are we not passionate the same way that we are passionate about going for lunch to come for morning prayers? Why is it, right? That's simply, and it's not to judge ourselves, simply just to firstly accept that is the truth. It's a reality. Your passion for having a nice cake in the bhajan cafe might be greater than the passion of getting up early in the morning, take a shower, get ready, and come for prayers. It might be. Doesn't mean you don't do it, but it's still the case. Because the first thing that we have to do is accept that our mind is not in this place in which it is auspicious. That doesn't mean it cannot be. And so Shiva shows the way on how to transform the mind is through learning to become dispassionate towards the world. It's not to see it as an enemy. It's not to fight it. It is simply to feel dispassion for the world. To lose the passion for the attraction to the world. Another word we could use is attraction. The word attraction itself comes from the word traction. No? Traction means that there is movement, that something is happening. And so attraction is always pushing you towards a certain direction. And so naturally, when we have attraction or passion towards something, we are pushed towards that direction naturally. We don't have to force it. We don't have to tell ourselves to be disciplined to do it. It is a natural pull towards it. And so we understand it, and we understand that we have more attraction to the world right now, to certain material things, than to our sadhana towards God. If the acceptance is there, then we have to see what can we do to change that? Because I think if you are longer on the spiritual path than 5 minutes, you probably have understood that it takes a little bit longer than just to accept this truth and to say, I want to be attracted to God, right? You might do your kriya and be on the spiritual path for many years and you still don't feel the difference. You might feel a small difference, but you don't feel a complete enjoyment and passion towards sadhana every single day. And you look forward, that's the only reason why you get out of bed, right? And so we understand it takes the first factor we already understand. We might not accept it, but we understand it, and that's patience. With patience is not only about time. Patience doesn't necessarily mean to wait or do nothing. For me, patience, another word for patience is discipline or repeated practice. As Krishna highlights in chapter 6, for example, many other examples, but in chapter 6, he gives that answer to Arjuna on how to control this stubborn, powerful mind is only by repeated practice. Actually says that there's 3 things. Firstly is acceptance, that yes, it is terrible and very powerful and very difficult. Secondly, it is possible by repeated practice and renunciation. Renunciation is not something you can just switch on and off. It doesn't work. And so the only thing we come back to is repeated practice, which is literally the only action that we can do to solve this problem. And I think that is something we also have to realize, that we need patience, but the other thing that we need is discipline. Discipline doesn't require passion or joy. Discipline simply means that you need to keep going. and keep doing it. Whether you feel it or not is irrelevant. Because the effect that the sadhana has will still happen, whether you feel something or not. Now, of course, the joy should be there, because when you run out of motivation and you only have discipline to hold on to, it is very difficult to stay disciplined if you don't actually start to enjoy it at some point. So of course you have to enjoy it at some point, but you can't expect to start enjoying it without being disciplined and doing something. Because if you stop in the beginning because you said, I don't feel anything, then of course nothing will happen in the first place, right? So this attraction towards the spiritual path, attraction towards God, is something that arises over time. It is not something that arises instantly. So we have to build up this relationship with God as we know, and we have to accept that it takes time. Like any relationship takes time to build. Like any relationship also takes a lot of effort to strengthen, to become strong and consistent. It takes time and it takes effort. And it's no different on the spiritual path also. Like sometimes people come to me and ask me, Guruji gave me my Ishtadev, but I have no connection and feeling whatsoever for my Ishtadev. And then I ask, well, did you read the stories? Do you do puja every day? Do you think of your Ishtadev? Yeah. But it's so hard. Well, yes. But if you don't make the effort, how do you expect to ever some magical relationship to start coming? It's not the same. It's the same thing on material relationships also. If you don't put yourself into it, if you don't put your effort into it, nothing will come from it either. So the second point I wanted to make is the importance of service, because that is what he points out in this verse, right? The reason why he drinks the hala poison is not because it's such a tasty drink. He does it for service. And similarly, as we understand that we have to move, we have to act, we have to be disciplined, we have to do action, right? Repeatedly, Krishna says in the Gita, you have to fight, you have to act. You cannot just sit idly and just do nothing or run away. You have to act. But he says, he doesn't just say fight. He says, he gives a very specific way on how he should fight, right? And he says, of course, you have to fight with your mind fixed upon me, with your mind focused on me. But when we try to become free from all the obstacles that we have created and all the habits and all the barriers that we have put into our mind, how we overcome them is very simple, actually. Because sometimes on the spiritual path, we start to become very arrogant and selfish also. Thinking, I have to overcome my obstacles. I have to attain God. I have to do X, Y, and Z. I have to do my sadhana. The first thing when you say, I have to do my sadhana, you say first I, and then sadhana. No? And so there's only, prescribed by Krishna, there's only one way on how you can remove this baggage, this thing that happens when you act selfishly. When you create attachment, that is what happens, no? So in the beginning of chapter 3, verse 9, Krishna says, there's only one type of action which does not create bondage or attachment or result of action, and that is service, sacrifice, no? It is said that even in recently I was watching a podcast by not a spiritual person, just an inspirational speaker. And I think he said something very nice, actually. He said to experience purpose in life only comes by sacrificing for others, by doing service for others. Whether you take, he often takes examples from the army or whatever. Like there's so many examples where you can see, even from a, let's say, not necessarily directly spiritual context, that the only way that you feel fulfilled if you serve others, not yourself. If you sacrifice time effort, whatever it may be, for others. And of course, it is the same thing on the spiritual path. That's why Guruji stresses the importance of seva, of selfless service, repeatedly. It is about redirecting the stream of our mind that constantly flows into our own self-attention and direct it towards others, towards the Supreme Lord. As he says in the second verse that I read, service to everyone else, because the Lord is seated in everyone's heart. If you do service to others, it is service to Narayana. If you please Hari, I am pleased, and so is everyone else also. And so, of course, we understand there are various levels to service. Because you could say, as Guruji recently more often said, how can you give something that you don't have? Fair enough. So you could even say, transforming myself is the greatest service I can do for others. Right? You can see everything as service. In the end of the day, it's about the intention that you have, the reason for why you do certain actions. Right? And so Shiva shows what it takes to transform our stream of passion for the world towards it becoming a stream of passion towards God. And so that is by constantly making that effort. It's like when you have a river and you want to redirect that river, you have to build a huge drain first to where you want to go the river to go. No? So you have to dig the drench first. You have to keep the river flowing where it goes. And once the drain is ready, then you can open it and let it flow towards that direction. And so creating that drain takes a lot of effort. It is one spade at a time. You have to dig it. And that is our sadhana. So we might not see a result instantly. So it's about making the choice of sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term happiness, right? And it's in the small. That's something, actually I've found it to be a very useful sentence or very useful question towards myself. Whether it is about getting up in the morning or whether it is in various other moments in the day. Because the mind cannot think long-term. The mind always wants immediate pleasure. And so you can very easily ask yourself, what is more important for me? Very simple. And sure, many times we will choose short-term happiness, because why not? Why not? It's not bad to have a nice cake from the Bhajan Cafe. But as long as we make the effort to prioritize more often our long-term goal, that is important. It's not about expecting ourselves to succeed 100% right now. Like I said, it's not an on and off switch. It has to be gained through constant effort, right? And so Shiva is that perfect example of effort and of mindset of equanimity, which is something that comes automatically as a result of repeated practice. As Krishna says, repeated practice and detachment, renunciation. Renunciation is that mindset of equanimity. This mindset of not being swayed by desire and aversion. That is when the mind is fully fixed on Him. And to take the example of Shivratri as one of those intense events, it is amazing to experience with Guruji. Because you might, like he said, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? He said it's not so easy to be close to Guruji. Everybody desires it, and I think it's a natural desire as a devotee to be always close to Him. I've experienced many times, I might be ashamed of saying this, but I've experienced many times that I was right next to Guruji and I wish I wasn't. And it might be that there was 1,000 people in the tent watching, and have heard it so many times afterwards. Some people came and was like, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful to see you, Guruji, and Guruji is so happy when you serve him." And I was like, it might look different from that perspective than from that one. It is amazing to serve him, don't get me wrong. It's amazing, right? But to serve him is a great opportunity to learn these qualities of Shiva, to be constant, fixed and focused on the service that you do to him, and to think of nothing else. In those events, that's why I love these events so much, because during normal days, you have time, or your mind has time to do whatever it wants sometimes. During those events, there is no time. You have to be fixed on him, otherwise he will make you know that he knows that you're not focused. And so that's why I love those intense events the most. When Guruji is there, when everything is just one thing after the other. Because you have to be focused, you have to be fixed. And you have to learn to an extent to be equanimous to what he says to you in terms of triggering emotional reaction from you. Because then your service will become distracted. Because again, you think, "Oh my God, I'm so terrible," or "Oh my God, I'm so great." And then you think of yourself and not of him. Right? And so it's a great practice, somehow. And maybe as a final Shivratri kind of story, I guess, similar to being equanimous or being kind of happy with whatever, whether you receive something or you lose something, quote unquote lose, is the same kind of topic. So Guruji gave me my first lingam, I think it was like 2011, 10 or 11, on Shivratri. I really wanted to have this amazing, like a big lingam. I always wanted a big black lingam. And so I've see the plate of lingams, and there was like 3 big black ones. And I was like, "Oh yes, it's my year." There's even 3 of them. It's not just one, it's just bigger chance. So Guruji gave me this super cute, small white lingam, which is the exact opposite of what I wanted. So first reaction was like, But I love it, because it's like me, small and white. But like 2 years later, so I had my lingam. So every year in the morning or afternoon or the next day, Guruji kind of gives out the lingams, and we all sit in the temple like piranhas, waiting. It's my turn this year. I'm going to get a lingam, right? And so that year, I had morning prayers. So we had here the Shivratri, and we still were in the small temple at the time. So I had morning prayers. So after Shivratri, when everybody was here waiting for the lingams, I went to the temple to do morning prayers. And when I was behind the curtain, dressing Krishna, doing the thing, one of the pujaris came behind the curtain, and he said, "Oh, here Guruji gave a lingam for you." And I was like, "Are you sure? Like, I already have one." So I was like, "I don't really want," but I mean, Guruji said he gave it to Keshava, so I was like, "Okay, thank you." So it was a big black one. It was nice. Like, amazing. Okay, so I had two lingams. I was super happy. I was serving both lingams and, of course, my other deities every day. And I think it was probably like 4 years later, like randomly in the middle of the year, after Darshan, Guruji goes, I always do this like lime, prayer when Guruji leaves the Darshan. So Guruji passes, and then he turns around and he said, "Oh, Keshava, don't you have 2 lingams?" And I said, "Maybe. Yes." And he said, "Yeah, bring the big black one. I need to give one to this Mataji." And I was like, "Okay." But in my mind, I thought, "Guruji, can you not just make a new one? Like, I mean, it doesn't need to be Shivratri, right? Shivratri, they come to the mouth. You can just materialize lingams also. Like, he's done that before, right?" So obviously, I didn't say that to him. I just, went to my room and got the lingam. But of course, it was sad. But, at the same time, I already had one. And I remember when I received him, Like, there were so many examples Guruji told me. Like, there's 3 deities that he gave me, and he repeatedly told me, I just given to you to look after them. They're not yours. And so for me, it's the same. Was the same as a reminder. It doesn't. The first is like, of course, you build a relationship with the deity when you serve them every day, but at the same time, it's a reminder of not being attached, because it's not about. It's about the deity for sure, but it's about the relationship that we have with him inside of you, right? And that's what Shiva is showing us, and that's what I hope that we remember and that we focus on, that Shiva will grace and Guruji grace us to reuse everything that Guruji, all the opportunities that Guruji has given us, and to find that joy, that happiness, that bliss, that connection with God inside of our heart. Jai Gurudev.
Shri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha, Jaya Jai Narasimhadev, Praladesha Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Priga. Shri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha, Jaya Narasimhadev, Praladesha Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Priga. Namaste Narasimhaya,
Namaste Narasimhaya,
Namaste Narasimhaya,
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Yato yato yami tato nasimho,
Yato yato yami tato narasimho,
Yato yato yami tato nasimho,
Yato yato yami tato narasimho,
Bahi nasimho, Hridaye nasimho,
Bahi narasimho, Hridaye narasimho,
Bahi nasimho, Hridaye nasimho,
Bahi narasimho, Hridaye narasimho,
Nasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade,
Nasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade,
O Nasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade,
Nasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade,
Avakara Kamalavare Nakamakruta Shri Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubrita Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Bole
Tavakara Kamala Vare
Vivo
Nakamagruta Shringa Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubrinda Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare
Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare O
Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
O Jaya Narsingadev 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 Jaya Narsingadev
Jaya Narsingadev 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 Jaya Narsingadev
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Bhakta Swarupa Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Bhakta Swarupa Jaya Prahlad
Jaya
Maharaj
Jaya Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev
Gurudev Gurudev Gurudev Sri Vishwananda Gurudev
Sri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev
Sri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev
Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namah
Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namah
Hari Om Namah Shivaya Hari
Om Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya
Shiva Shiva Shankara Shiva Shiva Shankara Lingeshwaraya Namah
Shiva Shiva Shankara Shiva Shiva Shankara Lingeshwaraya Namah
Shiva Shiva Shankara Shiva Shiva Shankara Lingeshwaraya Namah
Shiva Shankara Shiva Shiva Shankara Lingeshwaraya Namah
Shiva Shiva Shankara Shiva Shiva Shankara Lingeshwaraya Namah
Shiva Shiva Shankara Shiva Shiva Shankara Lingeshwaraya Namah
Shiva Shiva Shankara Hara Hara Shankara Lingeshwaraya Namah. Everybody sing please.
Shiva Shiva Shankara Shiva Hara Shankara Lingeshwaraya Namah
Om Namah Shivaya Hara Hara Shankara Om Namah Shivaya Hara Hara Shankara Om Guru Devaya Swami Vishwananda Om Guru Devaya
Swami Vishwananda
Om Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya
Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya,
Har Hare.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Shiva Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shiva Shankara, Lingeshwaraya Namo.
Shiva Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shiva Shankara, Namah Shivaya Namaho.
Shiva Shiva Shankara, Hara Hara Shankara, Lingeshwaraya Namo.
Shiva Shiva Shankara, Hara Hara Shankara, Ishwaraya Namaho.
Om Namah Shivaya, Hara Hara Shankara. Om Namah
Shivaya, Hara Hara Shankara.
Om Guru Devaya Swami Vishwananda.
Om Guru Devaya Swami Vishwananda.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah
Har
Shivaya.
Har. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me.
Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yadiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me.
Yatindraya Karunakaraya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Yatindraya Karunakaraya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Prapati Dharme Karataya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Prapati Dharme Karataya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me.
Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me.
Saligrama Pratishtitaya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Saligrama Pratishtitaya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Tridandadarine Godagrajaya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Vidandadari Godarajaya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me.
Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me.
Range Sake Karadataya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Range Sakhe Kairataya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Mananataya, Narini Daraya, Mangala Mangala Me.
Anataya, Daridaraya, Mangala Mangala Me.
O Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me.
Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me. Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala Me.
Mangala Mangala Me. Om Jai Lakshmi Mata, Jaya Jaya Lakshmi Mata. Tumako nishadina sevata, tumako nishadina sevata, Hara Vishnu Vidhata. Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata. Uma Rama Brahmani, Tumahi Jagamata, Meya Tumahi Jagamata. Surya Chandra Madhyavata, Surya Chandra Madhyavata, Narada Rishigata. Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata. Durga Rupani Ranjani Sukha Sampati Data, Omeya Sukha Sampati Data. जो कोई तुमको जावत, जो कोई तुमको जावत, रिद्धि सिद्धि धन पाता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. तुम पाताल निवासिनी, तुम ही शुभदाता. मैं तुम ही शुभदाता. ओ काम प्रभाव प्रकाशिनी, कर्म प्रभाव प्रकाशिनी. ओ भवनिधि की त्राता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. ओ जिस घर में तुम्हारा हित सब सद्गुण आता. ओ मैं सब सद्गुण आता. ओ मैं सब सद्गुण आता. ओ मैं सब सद्गुण आता. ओ सब संभव हो जाता. सब संभव हो जाता. मन नहीं घबराता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. तुम बिना याज्ञ न होते, वस्त्र न कोई पाता. ओ मेरा वस्त्र न कोई पाता. ओ मेरा वस्त्र न कोई पाता. ओ मेरा वस्त्र न कोई पाता. ओ कान पंख में भावा, कान पंख में भावा, सब तुम से आता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. शुभ गुण मंदिर सुंदर क्षीरोदधि जाता. मैं क्षीरोदधि जाता. ओ मैं क्षीरोदधि जाता. ओ मैं क्षीरोदधि जाता. रात चतुर्दश तुम बिना, रात चतुर्दश तुम बिना कोई नहीं पाता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. महालक्ष्मी जी की आरती जो कोई जन गाता. ओ मैं जो कोई जन गाता. ओ मैं जो कोई जन गाता. मैं जो कोई जन गाता. पूर्ण आनंद समाता. पूर्ण आनंद समाता. पाप उतर जाता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. जय जय लक्ष्मी माता. तुमको निषदिन सेवत, तुमको निषदिन सेवत, हर विष्णु विधाता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. जय जय लक्ष्मी माता. तुमको निषदिन सेवत, तुमको निषदिन सेवत, हर विष्णु विधाता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. जय जय लक्ष्मी माता. तुमको निषदिन सेवत, तुमको निषदिन सेवत, हर विष्णु विधाता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता. त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Govindam Tato ma amritam gamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Prem se bolo Shri Lakshmi Narayana Bhagavan ki Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Mandir Bhagavan ki Bolo Radha Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Bolo Gauri Shankar Bhagavan ki Shri Mahavata Babaji ki Shri Manoja Acharya ki Prem se bolo Satguru Deva Sri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki Om Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janna Vallabhaya Paraya Parama Purushaya Parakarma Mantrayanta Tantra Oshadari Shastrani Samaya Samanam Rityo Mochaya Mochaya Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Dipti Jwala Prataya Sarvalik Shabna Om Pat Parashmai Parabrahmane Paramjyotishe Swaha Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Jai Jai Shri Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham Venkatramana Govinda Gopika Divana Smaranam Govinda Bhaktavatsala Govinda Pundali Kavarade Ekanatanam Dev Bolo Pandarinatha Maharaj ki Rukmini Maharani ki Samasta Bhakta Mandali ki Alva en Perumanar Thiruvarikalaye Namo Parvati Pataye Hara 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 Mahadev